good afternoon. Time will actually permit me to get away with saying all protocols observed. So, I feel like I've been set up. First, I was placed behind the great Dr. Jaja, and then I'm placed ahead of lunch. No. It said that the speaker who speaks before lunch is remembered not for his speech, but for how long he keeps his audience away from their food. So you can be assured that I'll not be up here very long. And entrepreneurship. I realize you have a strong affinity for P, and so in keeping with that, I'm going to make you a promise, I'm going to make you a proposal, and I'm going to make a premonition. That's not my bank account. 970 million. That's the number of results that come up on Google when you type in, what's my purpose, or how do I find my passion? My promise to you this morning is that by the end of today, you would have identified at least one of your passions. Dr. Jaja said it earlier, and you might think that we were co-conspirators in putting these presentations together. But she said it so eloquently, and it is most certainly true. Your passion is actually inside of you. And today, we're going to try to extract at least one of those, right? Does anybody here know who this gentleman is? Only one? No, unfortunately, his name is not Berkshire Hathaway. This is Mr. Warren Buffett. And though you might not know Warren Buffett, he is the chairman of Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway is a majority shareholder in all those companies that you see at the top of the slide, and it owns 100% of the companies that you see at the bottom. But you do not know of him. Mr. Buffett has a net worth of $88 billion, US. This is Jack Ma, my personal favorite entrepreneur. This man came from not being able to speak English to creating the Amazon of Amazons. I'm Jeff Bezos, currently the richest man in the world with a net worth of 140 plus billion US dollars. And I'm sure if you've not shopped on Amazon, then you've at least used one of their services, though you may not fully recognize it. The previous holder of that title, Mr. Bill Gates, currently worth $90 billion and is a co-founder of Microsoft. And a gentleman who needs no introduction, Mr. Steve Jobs, whose passion, whose direction of purpose, and whose ability to inspire people has given us all of these devices. This is Evan Carmichael. He's a friend and a mentor of mine. And the book he's holding up is Top 10 Rules of Success. Evan Carmichael is a YouTuber, he's an investor and an entrepreneur. He currently has 1.8 million subscribers on YouTube. He's the author of 2 books and is an investor in Toronto's largest growing salsa dance, I guess you can call it a dance group. But in this book, Evan did a profile of 40 of the world's most successful business leaders, entrepreneurs, sportsmen, artists, and who else do I want to pick up? That is right, the philanthropist. Can you guess what the #1 rule that they all shared was? Anybody can guess? The #1 rule is to follow your passion. And you saw it earlier in Dr. Jaja's presentation. Now I want to propose that you already know what your passions are. Why can I make that proposal? Because I have an exercise that will actually enable you to see that for yourselves. Now in the interest of time, I will not take you through the exercise in full. I wish we had the 3-hour version of this talk, but thankfully we don't. All right, so basically, Your passions are the things that you talk about continuously. Your passions actually expose you. You don't need to tell people what your passions are, because just by observing you, persons can actually identify what your passions are. As I said earlier, your passions will expose you. So for example, if I were to take any one of your Instagram profiles and then do an audit on it to see what you post most regularly or what you talk about most, then I can say with some degree of certainty that whatever that thing is indeed one of your passions. It may not be the only one, but it is certainly one of them, for you would not care so much about it otherwise. So there are 3 ways that you can develop your passion. That's of course if you don't already know explicitly for yourself what they are. I was speaking with a co-worker of mine yesterday, and she was saying that the struggle that she has is that she doesn't know what her passion is, that she's been through so many jobs, she's been through so many positions, she has studied so many different courses, and she hasn't yet found that thing. If you get 2 minutes with this woman, she will tell you about the love of God, how it can save you, and if you tell her any challenge that you're having, the first thing she says, have you prayed about it? What do you think her passion is? Her passion is God. She discovered that yesterday. So here's how you can find and develop a new passion. Make a list of 5 things that interest you. What were the things that you did? Why am I standing? Oh, right. That's why I'm standing here. Because I'm supposed to be pacing you guys. So make a list of 5 things that interest you. What did you care most about when you were children? What is it that you talk about most often? What can you talk about for 24 hours and not get tired? That's a passion. Try one of those things each day for a week. And once you've found one that clicks with you, practice it for the next 30 days and watch what happens. That's all I did. I only followed my passions. And that has led me through so many places. Today, it leads me in front of you. But following my own passions, and I'll give you the exercise to actually go and find out what my passion is and DM me. I followed most of you on Instagram this morning. So my passion has brought me to the University of the West Indies, where I studied medical physics and helped to launch an accredited lab for monitoring wastewater remotely. It led me to EM2P, where I developed websites and Android applications. It led me to iSense, where I worked with some of the world's top atomic and nuclear physicists. It led me to Texas A&M University, where I studied and was certified as a radiation and radiological emergency manager. Currently, it's leading me in the path of developing the Caribbean's most relied on source for independent equity analysis. That is Caribbean Value Investor. So a quick poll for you. How many of us think we find our passion, or purpose rather, and how many of us think that we define our purpose? Show of hands for you find it. Do you think you find your passion, or do you think you do you think you find your purpose, or do you think you define your purpose? You find it. Okay, all right, good. So we have a disagreement, which is good. I'm personally on the side of us defining our purpose. I tell you this, if you do think that you will find your purpose, make it an adventure to go and search for it. And that means pursue every single thing that inspires you, that touches you, that motivates you, that gets you fired up. One of those things, once directed, will become your purpose. Me personally, I choose to believe that we define our purpose. Why? Because in my experience, short though they may be, if it is that you can direct your passions, you can create a purpose for your life. My purpose is expressed through two things. It's expressed through Best You Pro International, and it's expressed through Caribbean Value Investor. My purpose, which I will get into, is to help as many people to achieve whatever goals it is that they have for themselves, and to see what the best version of themselves can be, and to manifest that version of themselves. Dr. Miles Monroe said that the richest places on earth are not the gold mines, the diamond mines, nor the oil fields. They are the cemeteries, because there lie the riches of your ideas that were not brought to fruition. The ambition of CVI is to help persons to achieve the best version of themselves through continued personal development. This is what Dr. Jaja said when she mentioned continuous improvement and growth. That's personal development. Professional development, that is deciding to make excellence your basic standard, being the best in your field. And through investing, learning not only how to work hard for money, but to also have money work hard for you. So I've been through this slide. Basically, this is Dr. Miles Monroe. He was a Bahamian pastor, and he and his wife, unfortunately, died in a plane crash after coming from one event. But at Best You Pro, what we have chosen to do is we have chosen to exemplify the vision that Dr. Monroe said. We have chosen to adopt the mission of helping as many persons as possible to become the best version of themselves. And this is our vision stated. We believe that with the right education and the application of knowledge, everyone, whether they be employees of themselves, so whether you're self-employed, whether you work for a company, the state, i.e. the government, or the country, can retire financially free. And Best You Pro International aims to provide you with the knowledge and tools that will enable you to do just that. If we had enough time, I would have actually shown you a few of them. But the website is bestyoupro.com, and there is a tab that allows you to see the tools. We further believe that with the right attitude and knowledge, anyone, regardless of his beginnings, doesn't matter where you're coming from, can join a company and rise not only to the very top of that company, but to that industry. You have the power to make that decision. There is nothing more dangerous than a person who has decided to excel. And finally, we believe that within every human being lies a being, your inner self, that is the best version of you. That person possesses all the skills that make you a high achiever in life and a legend in death. We aim to see that person emerge out of as many people as possible, thus robbing the graveyards. So this is Caribbean Value Investor, and as I will not go through it, the link is there, but basically what we do here is, one of my passions has always been research and analysis. Through directing that passion, I created Caribbean Value Investor with the sole purpose of helping persons to invest in the stock market and to attain financial freedom. That passion also led me to creating Beyond the Stock Price, which is a YouTube channel and an Anchor podcast wherein we do fundamental analysis on publicly listed companies, not just in Jamaica, not just in Trinidad, but in the entire Caribbean and even some international companies as well. As I said earlier, purpose can be defined simply as directing your passion, if you choose to believe that. Here is where the direction of purpose or a direction of passion has brought us. Jamaica has produced legends like Bob Marley, world-acclaimed business leaders like Chris Daring, and the fastest man in the world, Usain Bolt. Each of these persons had a passion for what they did, and they chose to direct that passion into one particular field. They focused. And through so doing, they have become known worldwide. So my second exercise to you this morning would have been for you to identify your purpose using the 3W method. And I'll explain very quickly. So the 3W method is what? What do you want to be known for? What changes do you want to make in the world? What is it that irks you so much that you feel compelled to change it? Who? Who do you want to impact? Whose life do you want to make better? And finally, but most importantly, why? Why is this important to you? Like, we'd have gone through this exercise and I would have given you the opportunity to like share your findings, keeping you away from your food. So I'm getting close to the end. But the last thing you will have to do once you have decided your purpose, once you have identified your passion and then directed that passion to creating a purpose, here come the 3 P's again. You will have to persevere in the pursuit of that purpose. And what does that mean? Remember what Dr. Jaja said about the roads, about how you will meet the potholes and the bends. You will have to persevere through those. You cannot allow those to stop you. Otherwise, you will never manifest your purpose. So this is Usain Bolt. I'm not quite remembering right now which one of those races he had failed to win gold in, or I think he failed to finish correctly. Thank you. Thank you very much. I see somebody follows sports more closely than I do, which is good. And at the top is Elon Musk, who is the founder of Tesla, SpaceX, and PayPal. That was him speaking at a press conference after one of his rockets, which was slated to go to the International Space Station, exploded on the launch pad. But they do not stop. And this is the benefit of persevering in the pursuit of your purpose. Elon Musk has decided that what he is going to use his passion for engineering and computer science to do is to build a colony on Mars. Talk about a big vision. And you would not believe just how very close he is to doing just that. Usain Bolt is I think he's the only holder of the triple gold medal, yes? Unconquerable. That is, by the way, that's what Invictus means. So, that is the quality that you must endear, that you must engender, that you must adopt in order to have your passion direct your purpose, and in order to use that to create a lasting impact on this world. All the gentlemen that I've shown you earlier, and some ladies, of course, that was a mistake on my part. I'm just now realizing that there are no females in that presentation. My apologies. But Invictus, there's a poem written by William Ernest Henley, and I'd like to leave you with that poem, such that when you face the inevitable challenges while you are pursuing your passions and directing your purpose, you will not be sidetracked and you will not become disheartened when you face potholes or bends in the road. Invictus was written by William Ernest Henley at the lowest point in his life. And at that point, he summoned the strength to write this poem. He said, "Out of the night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced or cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horrors of the shade. And yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul." I thank you. I wanted to do that in 25 minutes. So, I know I'm keeping you from lunch, but if you have any questions, you can interrogate me at lunch.